should share at this committee.
Mhm.
Okay. 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we go ahead. Alright, so we're gonna start the meeting. Do we have any additions to the agenda? Then can I get an approval of the agenda?
We'll approve the agenda.
Okay. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, let's go on to public comment. You're also more than welcome to talk during the meeting as well. I think we should have a public dialogue on everything, so. Alright. Review / approval of the committee meeting minutes from 9/4/2025. Has anyone gone through it and have any changes or suggestions on it? And if not, can I get a motion to approve it?
Or move to approve the minutes.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Alright, next one is items that do not require a building permit. It was suggested that we contact the building inspector. Did you do that, Jen, or did Frank?
Yep, after the September meeting, I sent it to Pat.
Yeah, I saw your note on that. I think it makes sense. The only thing is it's only for replacing them, so I don't know if we have to really worry about like the venting. I'm assuming is what the main issue would be. There are two different types. I mean, maybe there's one too, but as far as I know, there's like natural draft venting and there's the condensed venting, which can use PVC. So you'd have to make sure that people replace it with the right type of furnace or water heater. The other thing is if they're doing an electric water heater, I don't think we have any problems with carbon monoxide or anything like that. So what does the board or the committee think in regards to water heaters and furnaces? Should we keep them exempted or suggest requiring permits for them?
I really don't feel you need a permit if you're just replacing. If one is wore out and you're replacing a new, replacing it, I really don't feel a permit is necessary. I mean, new construction, yeah, but, if you had an old furnace, you're taking it out, putting a new one in, I really don't feel you need to be a permit on that.
The other thing is I did add on the exemptions that you can get a permit if the property owner wants to. I feel like that lets them, if they want to be extra cautious, they can have their work be checked. And if they don't need one, in my opinion.
Or you could sit there and think if they were to upgrade, like, let's say add a second furnace, maybe that would be a permittable type thing if they were to, if you went from an 80,000 to 100,000 or something like that, then maybe think about it that way.
Yeah, I guess that would be something to consider.
Because then that's gonna be more, it's gonna be bigger ductwork, a little more gas pressure going into it, so, you're gonna be basically if you upgrade, then I would feel that the permitting would be, we should permit it. But if you're replacing 80,000 with 80,000, the only difference is, things nowadays are more energy efficient, so.
Yeah.
But if they were to upgrade it and go bigger, then, because then.
I think the current exemptions for, just in kind, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, if they're replacing the ductwork, like they're upgrading the sizes, if they're running new, larger gas lines, I would say you would need a permit for that.
I would say you would.
But if you're just replacing the furnace, like, everything's already there, you're just swapping out the equipment.
Then I don't see the purpose in that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
So, are we fine with keeping furnaces then and adding water heaters to the list of exemptions?
Same thing if you were to up your water heater to something bigger. You know, to me, a permit should be, you know, should issue a permit, then plus on top of that, have it inspected.
For what it's worth, I think gas appliances, gas furnaces, gas water heaters probably need to be inspected. Electric ones, I don't think there's the risk for an explosion or a gas leak, either one. But that's just my 2 cents worth. I'd like to see, I'd like to see gas appliances permitted.
Also, for what it's worth, Nyquil, a way to check, if you have a gas appliance that's leaking, Nyquil will do it for free.
Mhm.
You can call up at any time and be like, hey, I think my gas appliance might be leaking, could you come and check it? They'll say, yes, absolutely, we will come and check it for you. So,
Yeah, they have, cause we had an issue at the hotel at some point, and they have like a really sensitive sniffer, like even if you can't smell it, it can find the tiniest little leak.
yeah. I think they wanted to like upgrade something or put it in.
I don't remember exactly what they said,
But yeah, they came in, they found a leak and they fixed it.
yeah.
So,
Even though you
so was it with their equipment that the leak was?
Yeah, I hadn't replaced any equipment, I think it was just like an existing thing.
just old pipes.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want a motion to approve, or motion to recommend to the entire board, this list of exemptions again? Adding water heaters, do we want to exclude gas appliances, or what?
Where's that mentioned in the notes?
It's appendix A at the bottom is the notes about what the building inspector.
On what page?
Page 5, I think. No,
Says appendix A in the top.
Looks like this.
Right, and it's at the bottom, and it's
page
at the bottom.
Page 7 on the packet.
Appendix A?
At the top of the page.
Here you go. It's right here, Denny. You can have that.
Okay, yeah, I remember that now, yeah. Are you saying include all 12 of them? Or are you doing one at a time?
So right now, the numbered ones, 1 through 12, are already exempted. The ones that we are adding are the bullet points underneath that. And then
In the middle of the page?
in the middle of the page. And then at the bottom is what the notes from the building inspector was.
The gas appliances, it can be as simple as use the wrong pipe dope. There's pipe dope for water and there's pipe dope for gas, and guys might just use the wrong pipe. I'm just concerned about gas appliances. But I work for the power company, so. They always told me if you go gas, you go boom.
Problem with that is electric is a lot more expensive to run.
Yeah, it is.
What about just notifying the village that, let's say you're replacing something, and then the name of the contractor, which is doing the work? Cause I know if I had to have a furnace, I ain't putting it in, all that. I'd have somebody do it, so then let the village know that I'm replacing a furnace. This is who's doing it, which more than likely they come up with a what, certificate of insurance?
That's what we've asked for in our licensing, but we have to get that approved also, so. This would be going into effect right away, if you don't feel
I
the
mean, I
gas.
understand this guy's concern where this stuff could get installed incorrectly, I understand that, I get that.
And what was the reasoning behind these recommended additions?
Mostly just to make it easier for people to fix up their properties. That's the main one, yeah.
I guess I'm confused what you're asking for.
So we, last time we approved, signing this with the board decided to, get the building inspector's comments first before we approved it. So he said that it sounds good, except for thinking about furnaces and water heaters, as they're often installed incorrectly and dangerous when done so. So like, if you install a water heater or gas furnace and you don't connect the vent pipe correctly, then you could have carbon monoxide in your house. Or you have a gas leak, like Frank was mentioning.
Okay.
I agree with Frank, you should qualify it to gas.
I'm not against that.
No.
Alright, do we wanna, say gas furnaces and gas, water heaters wouldn't need a permit, but anything else doesn't? Or oil or gas, I suppose? Cause I guess oil might be an option for some people.
Nobody uses propane, do
Not in town, though.
they? Not at all.
Maybe we should just add, just in case anyone does.
It's illegal.
It's
Is
yeah,
that
it's illegal, you can't use propane in town.
Okay.
I believe it's in our ordinance too, it's illegal.
Okay,
My
well, it's already
preference
illegal,
is, my preference, if that counts for anything, to you guys, would just be gas appliances. Would be furnaces, water heaters, and gas stoves, ranges. But then again, it's up to you guys.
So would you wanna just say it's subject, after installation, it's subject for inspection? Is that how you wanna put it?
Yeah, we could do that, rather than requiring a permit to do it, we could require an inspection after.
After installation?
Yeah.
Are we gonna charge for the inspection though, or is the village gonna eat that cost, I suppose?
Well, you could get it inspected by the gas company, correct? You call and ask them. Would they inspect a new installation?
Yeah,
I would think
they
they
will,
would.
they will, yeah.
I think.
But I think they would inspect it up to the gas valve, is all, you know, to the furnace gas valve. I don't know if they would inspect the ductwork and stuff to see if that was done.
Well, yeah, the ductwork is, I'm not concerned about the ductwork.
They'll check your pipes to make sure your pipes aren't leaking.
That's fine.
If I would say if you were gonna require the village building inspector to inspect it, we have a cost to pay for his time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, maybe we should contact NICOR and see if that's an option for them to inspect it after it's installed. Cause I can't say for sure that they would do that, but.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know, like, I don't know if Micor, I don't know if they use like licensed inspectors, is there inspector license?
I don't know, but they have their own employees that do it, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
so.
but I do know that they will check your pipes to make sure your pipes aren't leaking.
Yeah,
But you would have to call in, like, you feel you might have a leak or something, maybe that's the only way. Then they would come, like I said, then they would come out, but just as a new installation, I don't know if they would inspect that, I don't know that.
We're gonna ask.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they didn't. It'd be worth asking, but I'd be surprised if they didn't, because even like when I've had to just get gas turned on, they wanna make sure to do a walk through the property and make sure that all the gas stuff is.
I think that's what happened in the hotel, we just turned the gas on, and they're like, okay, well, before we do that, we need to make sure it's not leaking.
No, I think it was because they like switched it to a commercial account. So it wasn't even,
Yeah.
it wasn't even like anything physical that they did, they just switched the account type and then
That probably was.
it's like, well, we have to do a full walkthrough in order to do that.
Which
So
makes
yeah, they're
sense.
like, they're pretty strict.
There was a contact list that I gave out to everybody, including new trustees. And on there, the backside of it, it's miscellaneous, and Nicor's on there, and that's our regional district guy.
Okay,
And that's probably a good way to call, because calling the 800 number
Right.
would be like, who's
Yeah.
on first, what's on second, probably.
yeah, so, I think maybe before we suggest this to the board, we should just contact Nicor, cause I think that's the best option than using the village inspector, cause it's gonna be free, or theoretically. And I'll do that, I'll contact Nicor.
And then under the appliances that would require permit, furnaces, water heaters, boilers, with my boilers, gas,
Mm,
get way too expensive if it was electric.
Gas appliances.
yeah, so I guess the question would be, are we going to require
So if you
village
replace your
permits?
dryer or your stove, you need a permit?
Pardon?
If you replace your dryer or your stove, and it's gas?
If you're gonna. Up here it says in kind.
Mm,
I don't know, maybe I'm being too critical with it, maybe. I don't know that we've ever had one blow up in town that I know of. We had some close, but it's all been propane too.
I feel like it's probably usually stupid people that are like cutting into pipes, like active gas lines or things like that, it's not usually.
Or they leave the stove on,
Yeah, or you leave the stove on.
not lit. I do think there might be some issues with appliances, because I think in general, appliances are exempt from permits.
Yeah, I would think it would have to be if you're working on the gas line itself, because if you're just attaching the flare fitting, then
Yeah.
you're not constructing.
Well, maybe you wanna bring it to the board just like it is and
We can,
I mean, it was there once and that's a recommendation from the building inspector.
mm,
Either we go with that as a board or we don't. Is that?
So if Nicor will take the call and come out and do an inspection for free,
mm,
then they should still apply for the permit through the village clerk. And the village can just issue the permit with the stipulation that they must provide proof of Nicor's inspection.
That makes sense.
And then we don't charge them for it.
okay, yeah.
Is that okay that I said that? We don't charge them for it?
Sure.
And I think we should also add that if you have an electric water heater, boiler, whatever, you should be able to just swap out. So I think we should have an official vote. So if we have if we have a permit for gas, I don't wanna say appliances, but gas water heaters, gas boilers, gas furnaces, we should have a free permit if NICOR will inspect it for free. And otherwise, continue with this exemption, list of exemptions. Is everyone in favor of that, or do you wanna have a first and second motion for that?
Go ahead.
Whatever the first,
Sorry, I was kind of all over the place.
I mean, if you say it, then I'll second it.
Okay, I'm gonna motion that we submit this, list of exemptions to the board along with water heaters exempt, as well as requiring a building permit for water heaters, furnaces, and boilers that are gas powered.
Was that a motion?
Yes, that's my motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Any opposed? Okay, so next item is the ordinance amending chapter 8 buildings and building regulations, adding contractor licenses. So I have a couple of issues with this ordinance as it's written. I like the idea of having licensing, but I don't think it should be mandatory. I think we should have a list of approved contractors that we've already vetted for insurance, etc. But if someone wants to use someone off of that list, they should be allowed to.
As long as they're certified,
This is kind of like,
can I use Frank?
if you wanted to, I don't see why not.
Just come in and inspect it?
Well, not for the inspection, this is for the actual, like, doing the work. So like if you hire a contractor, do they have to be licensed by the village, or can they just be a general contractor?
Yeah, as long as they're licensed somehow,
But how does the village know they're licensed?
Well, there is no state license for most trades. There is for plumbing, there is for roofing. That's pretty much
There's
it.
not one for electrical?
Not statewide.
There is for plumbing.
There
You
is
said
plumbing.
Yeah, there is plumbing, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it's roofing and plumbing are the statewide licensing. Some counties and some municipalities do have like licensing for general contractors, electrical, HVAC, but there's no statewide one.
And also, if you're a contractor, your insurance is gonna have requirements for you.
I was gonna say, as long as they show proof of insurance.
Yeah, so the idea, I think, behind this ordinance is to have contractors show their proof of insurance to the village in order to get a license. And then in order to do any work in the village, you have to have that license. I think it should be up to the property owner to hire whoever they want. They can have whatever license requirement that they want. And they should be able to verify it themselves. They can also go to the village website and see the list of approved contractors and go off of that as well.
But the thing is we have no list of approved contractors. How do we provide a list if we don't have registration?
Well, we can have it be optional instead of mandatory. And the reasons to register is because you do get on that list. You potentially get more familiar with the building inspector, so you get a relationship that way. You might get more business by being licensed through the village.
For what it's worth, I agree with Josh. I like that ordinance. The only part I don't like is it shall be unlawful to XYZ part of it. I do think it is value add for the village to license contractors. We can have registration. I think most contractors are gonna want that, especially if we're like advertising them on the website. I pay $100 for that or whatever the registration fee is. So I think that's good to have. I think that's a good service that we can offer people. However, I do think property owners should have the option of being like, you know, I wanna hire Doug to hang my door, you know, like, there's a lot of things that, you know, even stuff we don't even require a permit for, where you would have to get a license under this ordinance. And also, I think that could be used by future administrations to bully people, so that's a concern that I have as well.
It also, it only exempts homeowners currently. So like, if I have a home and my dad wanted to fix something, he couldn't under this ordinance. He'd have to have a contractor license.
Well, we're not gonna know that your dad did it.
That's true. But if the village found out,
No.
then you're gonna get a
I'm not gonna say nothing, trust me. I mean, if your dad wants to help you out, put something in, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I got a situation coming up next year, I'm gonna put a roof on the house. So I'm gonna hire a company to do it, so if, you know, the village needs to know about it, so I mean, that's all fine and dandy, I know
It's under the approved exceptions already.
they'll, yeah, so.
Maybe it's something we don't need.
No, I like the contractor licensing. I would just remove the it shall be unlawful to. Everything else, I think it's good to have. Like we should have a list of approved contractors that we'd like to verify they have insurance and, you know, that.
That's
they're
just my
licensed.
main thing, is just making sure they got insurance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would want to comb through it a little bit more, but I think it should just be getting rid of the unlawful to engage, getting rid of any fines for not complying with it, because I think it should be optional. And also just removing the homeowner exempted, because it's optional.
Well, would you wanna mark this ordinance up?
I can do that.
Yeah. It's on the agenda for this coming meeting. Would you have it marked up by then, so that?
Well, it needs to be marked up and it's gotta go to Dominic first. We need a legal review.
Okay. I'll send it to you, Jen, and again, a couple of days probably. You can forward it to him.
And it's not that we can't wait another month for it, but it's on the agenda. We seem to be kicking a lot of stuff down the road, so if we could get it done, it'd be
We
great.
just always seem to come up with another little,
There's always something.
some little sidetrack to something to consider.
That's true.
So you can get it marked up, and then if you bring it forward at the meeting, I would say we could probably vote on it. If that's all right with the committee to do it that way.
Or we can wait, like, I don't see any need to do it immediately.
If you get it back to me by like Monday or something, and I send it to Dominic, he can review it by Thursday.
Mhm.
Then we can still see what he reviews and edits and vote.
Yeah, if the board's fine with that, I'm fine with that. Okay. Next is the ordinance adding chapter 3 actions requiring board approval. From my understanding, I think Dominic wanted to review this again before going further on that. Am I wrong, or has he already done that?
Dominic, as far as I know, has already
He has
reviewed
not
it.
reviewed it again, and he said he wanted to, but the board also sent it back to the development committee first.
Okay. I would probably just wait for the attorney, but does anyone have any changes or comments about it?
Is that a part of what the violations and penalties?
Mm.
I mean, I'm not one for, $100 fine or something, Now, that's for an employee, like, let's say the two public works guys. Is that what this pertains to? If something were to go wrong? let's
So-
just say-
First off, the ordinance, none of the public works employees, village employees can do anything in the ordinance. So they're not supposed to be able to do any of this anyway, so this should not ever apply to them. But if it does, and if it is illegal, then we can't find them anyway. So again, I would like the attorney's input on that though.
So who's gonna get fined $100 or $750? I'm trying to figure that out.
Basically anyone who violates the ordinance, which would be,
A homeowner.
no, wait, no, this is mostly for village, officers. So let me make sure I have this. So if the village were to initiate administrative adjudication, which we currently don't have an ordinance for, collection efforts or court proceedings, like they started suing someone, they would have to get court approval. If they don't, then they may get fined. They have to, if they wanna record a lien, they have to get court approval, and if they don't, they may get fined. If they want to get alleged for outside legal counsel, collection agencies, or third-party entities for enforcement purposes, then they might get fined. And if they enter into settlement agreements, payment plans, or consent orders regarding alleged ordinance violations, they might get fined.
So this is basically only pertaining to the trustees, or the board, or in the.
Yeah, it's mostly only pertains to the board and mayor.
I have a question. It's been kind of eating at me, haven't been able to find any clear answers. So, let's say the board votes to fine a staff member, and the staff member says, I'm not paying that. So then, what's the next step?
The next step would probably be either let it pass or try and collect it through the courts.
What does let it pass mean?
Don't enforce it.
So then, okay,
Same with
So-
every ordinance violation.
so it goes to the court, and what exactly does that cost the village? In terms of paying the attorney to,
So if the village loses, then the village would have to pay the attorney whatever attorney fees were, and
so only if they lose?
yes, that's already in the ordinances that we currently have.
So the attorney doesn't get paid for the time spent preparing the case against the person who violated the ordinance?
So if the village wins, then the defendant would be paying the attorney fees for the village.
Interesting, okay.
And that is under the current
That's what the ordinance says now.
ordinance.
So that's additional fees on top of the fine?
Yes,
That's true for every ordinance.
every ordinance is that way. And again, this should never be applied to any staff member because no staff member is allowed to do any of these things.
So what's the point of it then?
No, that's what I'm wondering.
It's just like a threat that's hanging out there?
To me, you need to take beatings to get rid of it.
So do you think that one individual board member or the mayor should be allowed to sue anyone at any time, or do we need board approval?
But that's illegal already.
Yeah, that's covered,
Then why can't we have an ordinance for it?
because it's just double. You're writing up something that is gonna go, here you got state law, and then you got local law. Why confuse the matter?
We're not confusing, we're just adding the state law into our law.
What problem
And
is
that's
solved
it.
by passing that? What problem is solved by passing this ordinance?
It's not a problem.
It's just a threat. That's what it feels like a threat to me, like it's unnecessary.
Well, for what it's worth, again, I'm not on the committee, I am the mayor. I really don't have a problem with this ordinance, other than I'd like to, on D and actions requiring board approval, I'd like to strike payment plans.
Yeah, we did, or someone added that, to the exemptions, I mean, I'm fine with it, especially when it comes to utility billing, I don't really think that's an ordinance violation, but maybe it is. so it wouldn't really even apply to that anyway.
The payment plans I'd like struck, and then in section 3-4, administrative disciplinary action against village staff as permitted. I'd like to strike that whole sentence off. Just, and I realize that it doesn't apply to the staff members, but I think to make it clarify for anybody here or the village staff, if it's out of there, it's not there. We do have a very good employee disciplinary structure, so that's what would take over. And it says so here, if we strike that whole sentence, I don't have a problem with it. And I think it's basically aimed at the mayor, which would be me at this point in time. And I don't have a problem with it. Now, the next mayor may, but I don't.
Regarding the liens, which the board has always approved them in the past, but if this passes, which we are going to need to update our utility ordinance, because under utility code, it states village treasurer records lien if an account has more than 3 months of no payment.
Okay.
I think we should upgrade that.
Yeah. Just so it's consistent, we'll
Right,
have to change that.
I think, yeah.
I'm in the water and sewer code a lot, looking at things when I get asked questions.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be worth looking into. Also, like I was saying earlier, I think we need to get the attorney to review it again, make sure that everything is good.
And review it with these two items struck that I asked to be struck.
I'm fine with that. Everyone else is fine with that?
Yep.
Again, we'll try to get that back before the next board meeting.
Again, I don't really think there's any need of urgency to do this, but if we had for next meeting, then we should probably bring it up.
So you'll have a revised copy of this then for the next meeting.
Correct.
I'll do the strikes on what Frank said and you guys agreed to, and then I'll send it to Dominic in the morning.
Okay. Alright, so should we go on to the next one, the comprehensive plan review? Did everyone get a chance to read that through, or have any questions or comments? My personal opinion is I think the plan sounds fine. I think it has noble goals in it, and I really wish that the old board followed it more closely.
If I can say, I think there's some valuable things in there, especially when talking about item E on the agenda, about economic development. Things that are on the comprehensive plan that might be considered the things that for promoting existing and future business.
So I don't have any plans really with the comprehensive plan. I would figure we could just review it, see if we had any comments. If no one does, maybe we push it off to the next meeting, because it's pretty long.
Again, for my money, I'd like to have a little more time with it.
Yeah, me too.
And I think actually there'll maybe some ideas for economic improvement out of Denny's meeting next week.
Yeah.
So maybe this may be a good thing to kick down the road a little bit.
Okay. So if nobody has any comments, I think we should move on. The next one is ideas for promoting existing and future business in town. I made a very quick list of a couple of ideas. I don't know necessarily how much the village itself should do, but I think there is an opportunity for an organization or just even a group of people to start doing some of these things. And also, I just want to get the people to start thinking about what we can do. Like, I don't have a plan necessarily, but I want to start thinking about what we can do. I think the biggest thing that the village should do in order to promote economic development is to do nothing. I think the board has tried to do too much micromanaging, and that has deterred a lot of investment.
Has there been any interest of businesses wanting to come in to whatever buildings ain't being used at this time?
There has been in the past. I think a lot of people have more or less moved on from what their plans were. There are a couple of things happening in town, I believe. But I think the village or people should start reaching out to these people who were planning on doing things and see if we can help them get the ball rolling again.
I'm happy to be a point of contact for people if we do end up doing this section of the village website about starting a business.
That is 4, I think.
There is a economic development page on the website. Currently, it just has BST information, but I can push that down and add some pages and expand on whatever information you want to provide for it.
Okay. So, I don't think we should have any action or whatever necessary tonight. I just want to get the ball rolling. You guys thinking about it? Yeah.
I've got a question here. So often when people sit at home, they come up with a great idea, but they don't know how to get it implemented. Is there anybody that we can designate that would help them get it implemented, help them, tell them what step number 1 is, step number 2, maybe 2 people that, they could get a hold of, because they look at a piece of paper and try and follow it, different than sitting down and verbally going back and forth.
Yeah, so
I would recommend somehow we get a verbal back and forth going in addition to these. Does that make sense?
Yeah. One thing I kind of would like the idea of is if we had a village trustee or maybe even the village clerk or the mayor, someone who's designated to be like the point of contact.
There you go.
They can help guide people through what property they need, what permits they would need to fix it up.
Yeah, I just don't want them handed a sheet of paper and say, here, follow this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that piece of paper.
There's also DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation, and they offer programs and different stuff that could assist. They do incubators and stuff, but there might be some stuff there that would assist too.
I've seen some of their presentations, I believe, at the DeKalb County Board meeting, and they're impressive. It's worth talking to and finding out how they can help with that.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I know BST had a economic development committee for a while. I like the idea of it, but maybe we should see if we can get that going again. I think it got canceled, right?
Kyle requested it be tabled, so it's currently on hold.
Okay.
Would you like to volunteer to be a explainer?
Yeah.
If somebody comes in, we can recommend them to talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, I think Callan might be a good point of contact too. I don't know which of us is the better one. personally, I'd rather have county do it.
You know, I don't care who it
The
is, but I
slightly less
think
introverted one.
we need one or two, you know. I don't care who it is, we just need one or two.
Yeah, but I think, 2A is having an advisory group, like, if we got people from construction, retail, restaurants, that are all willing to like help people get started, like we can have their experience and expertise help people. But again, the DeKalb County, Economic Development Corporation might be able to help with that too.
Can also reach out to NIU and see if they have any free things through their programs.
How many buildings are vacant right now? As in, by vacant, I mean,
I'm
somebody
looking
owns
at
it,
one,
but nothing is
two,
actually happening in them.
3.
But someone
Four.
owns them and intends to do something with it, right? Like to.
Well, you know, I mean, I think there's certain people that have these buildings and they're just sitting on them. I mean, you know, some people had some ideas of doing one thing, which, you know, the one thing was a biker bar, which I really don't feel the town needs.
Well, I'm just saying, like, putting something, advertising in the town is business friendly. It's a nice idea, but there
I mean, at
is
one
no place
time,
to open a new business because they're, the places that they're already owned. And unless they wanna rent their building out, I guess, to another business. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
well, it's like, you know, where the 2 car washes is, you know, they wanted to put a coffee shop in there and stuff. I mean, I think that'd be cool. You know, but it met some interesting, you know, with the previous board.
But then I think that was a state thing, wasn't it, like ADA?
One of the issues was the bathroom.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's a building.
Which you know, they wanted to put 2 bathrooms in there, which I could say, well, you can have one and just make sure it can handle a handicapped person and it can be, you
That's
know.
the thing, I don't know if there's room in that little building
So,
for that.
things like that, that's the DeKalb County Health Department.
Right,
Anybody that's opening up any sort of restaurant, food service, all of it's up to the approval of the DeKalb County Health Department. The village
and the grocery store
doesn't
thing,
have anything they can enforce on that.
I think the grocery store thing has to do with the amount that they have to purchase to make it worth it for them. I think that was the issue that Tom had, was that he couldn't buy enough. Well, you have to buy
If
a
you're thinking
certain
the
amount.
old, like, the old rig, I mean, from what I heard, I mean, 3 people offered to buy it.
Yeah, I don't
And
know,
then he just didn't move on it.
I don't know what's gonna.
And one guy really gave him, like, he was gonna still keep his name and pay him royalty for 3 years.
Was that the guy that owns the grocery store in Paw Paw, I think, wanted to buy that one?
Franklin Grove, Amboy, Ashton.
I was gonna say, somebody else.
They own the
Yeah.
Earlville one now too, that's where they moved
Yeah,
on to.
I mean, but it just.
So someone like that, they can buy a lot, and it's cheaper the more you buy.
Well, I know, but
So-
he just didn't wanna let
Yeah.
it go. It
And
just-
I can't
So
even imagine.
instead
how
of
much
looking
money-
back, can we look forward?
Well, I'm trying, but it's just like, but
Because
some of the
looking
people
back
have it.
doesn't get us anywhere, and what's happened's happened, so let's
I
look
get what's
forward
happened
to
has
how we
happened, but
can-
it's like,
Well, the
we need to
grocery
have
thing
somebody
was
come
on
in
here.
and like say, we need to go forward with this.
Mhm.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, it's like, take the laundromat and turn it into a gym.
I just bring up the grocery
I
store
would love
because
not to
that's
go
something that I think a
12
lot of
times to go
people
to a gym.
want that,
3
the
days a
grocery
week.
store, and there's just no place for one.
I think there's probably a place you could open up a gym if you wanted to.
I don't wanna own nothing. I
Okay.
just wanna pay my dues.
Part of the problem.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, I think, people don't wanna do anything.
Okay, I retired. I mean,
Uh,
I've got a question. I really don't know the proper way to express it, so if anybody is offended, I'm sorry ahead of time. We had a laundromat that shut down.
mhm.
Whatever reason, I don't know, for sure I've heard different discussions back and forth. But I think this town needs a laundromat. Is there some way that this board can help either the current ownership or future ownership or whatever, get a laundromat back in Shabbona? I would really like to see that. I think it's needed for this town, and if we can do anything to help implement that, I think we should. whether it's forgiving a loan or whether it's whatever it involves, I would like to see maybe even a committee that would work on problems like that, where someone, businessman is having issues, and we can help them as a village get going again, or stay in business. I don't, just throwing it out there. But I really think we need to do something. Not just sit here and say, well, we don't have a line of red anymore.
But it comes down to, Denny, does it make money or doesn't, you know? Us wanting to have it is great, but then again, it's gotta be a business that makes money for the owner.
But do we know that that was the issue?
I heard there was, it just had a fire.
Yeah, he had a.
Yeah, he had a fire there, yeah.
And he could reopen if he wanted to, renovate it and redo it.
But I would, I would volunteer to, look the guy up. I don't know him personally, but I wouldn't, if the board wants me to, I'd call him up and say, hey, is there anything the village can do to help you reopen?
It could be great.
You could talk to him.
Anybody have any objection to that?
No problem.
I've talked to him, most likely something will be going back in that unit next year.
Well, I don't want to most likely. I want to,
We don't know.
Well, there's no guarantees in life.
most likely it's go on for months, and years, and
But he's even told the office that he is planning on doing something with it, but
Yeah, no, he will.
you gotta schedule the time to do it, he's a very busy contractor. His own
Would the-
personal stuff.
would the board have any objection with me contacting him?
I don't know.
No, I didn't problem.
Okay.
I think this is.
I don't know him.
Very
I've
good
never met
start
the
right
guy.
here.
So.
In just past read, I don't have anything to object to it, and so the committee knows, I work every day on trying to work people in the town to bring a business here. So, yeah, I think it's a good blueprint to start with, and I don't think anybody on the village board would say no to a business coming into town, within reason. I mean, but the other thing the committee and the board has to understand is a lot of businesses that would wanna come into town need infrastructure that we don't have right now. So we have to find a way to help with infrastructure needs.
The main infrastructure we don't have is parking downtown.
Well, that's one thing we don't have, but we don't have water and sewer to.
But it looks good,
places that
though.
would-
Yeah.
I don't want to get started on that.
So I think this is a good way, we should look at this and
Yeah, just look it over, think about it, add or remove things, think of what we should do first or whatever.
I'm pretty sure there's nobody on the board gonna try to chase somebody away. And it's like Callan said, I've had some requests or some interest within the last couple of months, and I think it's going forward, but slowly, so. I think with the business climate, it's hard to decide to take off and you wanna do that. Cost of insurance and building material and everything else, so.
Like all the buildings that have been vacant, I mean, they need a lot of upgrades.
Shabona's not any different than any other community around here. We all have the same problems, and it was a lot easier to run a business, and I do know about business because I was in one. It's a lot easier if the people in town will support that business, rather than go to DeKalb or Rockford or Sandwich or somewhere else and spend their money. People in town have to want it and want to support it. And I hope that's the case too. I've had so many people come up and ask me, why can't we have a general store like over in Waterman,
Mhm.
because maybe they think there's not enough business here, I don't know. And with Denny's committee and next week, maybe we'll find some different ways to do that. This is good, Josh, thank you.
Good job.
Alright, I don't have anything else. Anyone have other comments before we adjourn? Okay, I'll motion to adjourn the meeting then.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Does anybody have that Laundromat guy's name and telephone number?